dramatic night for the New York Mets. Good morning, Mike Breen with Sports. Gary Cohen, the call, WFAN. The sportscast sponsored by Cooper Tire. See Ed at Hampton Auto on Route 206 in Hampton, New Jersey. And tell him the I-Man's not feeling well. Mets defeat the Diamondbacks 8-4 in Game 1 of the best-of-5 series.
Well, enough of that.
Uh-oh. He got through.
Here's what happened. Oh, so Brad goes in, and here's the value of these traffic reports.
Okay.
We go in and ask Lori, what's the best way to go to Manhattan? Which the studio's about a mile and a half from Manhattan over the Queensboro Bridge.
Right.
She said, go to the Triborough Bridge.
All right.
The traffic on the Triborough Bridge is backed up for 17 miles.
You're kidding me.
No.
Oh,
so
my
now,
God.
we just went by the DeWitt Clinton. We're at 104th Street and Park Avenue in, well, Manhattan now.
Yeah.
On some side, obviously on some side street. Trying to figure out some way to get home.
Well, yeah, this is a nightmare. You don't need this.
Lock the doors.
Well, I don't have to lock the doors. You understand what I'm saying?
No, what
I hear your noise.
What are you saying, Iman?
So what I'm saying is, I mean, do you think Lori has a clue?
Apparently not.
A clue.
Clueless.
That man's Ellen.
Yeah.
Hey, Breen,
Yeah.
why don't you continue?
All right. Mets defeat the Diamondbacks 8-4. Game 1 of the best-of-5 series. That's 5 straight wins after they had that 7-game losing streak.
I'll be darned.
Mike Piazza was asked, what's been the key?
We're getting key hits, and that's the key. So, I mean,
Always that simple, refreshing, candid answer
I like that.
from Mikey P.
Yeah.
Randy Johnson, no answers. He took the loss, set a major league record in the process, his 6th straight postseason defeat.
Loser.
And he sounds like he's afraid now to take the mound again.
To win a ball game in the playoffs is all I've ever wanted, and hopefully we'll have that opportunity, and hopefully I won't even need to pitch. Hopefully we'll win tomorrow and take some ball games in New York.
Hopefully I don't need to pitch.
Uh-oh.
There's a man who does not want the ball anymore.
Apparently not.
So another big win for Bobby V. Bobby Valentine, more redemption for the beleaguered manager. Yesterday on WFAN in New York with Mike and the Mad Dog, Mets pitcher Al Leiter was asked about Valentine.
I think Bobby gets a lot of bad rap, maybe some, whatever he brings on, but I've had 2 great years, and he's made it enjoyable for me.
Notice what he stopped short of saying, some of the bad raps he brings on himself. A telling statement there by Leiter. Leiter, that is.
Later.
Whatever, right, Mike?
If you read between the lines.
You and Lori doing a great job.
Mets and Diamondbacks in Arizona again tonight. Kenny Rogers and Todd Stottlemyre. Also tonight, Red Sox and Indians from Cleveland, Game 1 of that series. Pedro Martinez against Bartolo Colon. Red Sox hoping for yet another World Series title. Also last night, another Yankee-Ranger playoff game, another Yankee romp. 8-0, prompting Texas manager Johnny Oates to say,
That ball game could have easily been nothing if we catch the ground balls.
God almighty.
Lou Abner.
Really?
Wow.
they'll have Game 2 of that series coming up Thursday night back in the Bronx. Meanwhile,
I guess you all hope I feel better, right?
we certainly do.
Yep. We both said a prayer just about 5 minutes ago.
Yes, we did. We had a communal prayer here, Iman.
Meanwhile, manager Joe Torre did not seem concerned with his team and their lack of difficulty against the Rangers. He was more concerned for the I-Man. Torre said the I-Man should take a few days off to recover from his severe sore throat, and added that producer Bernard McGurk would be more than capable of taking over the show.
Bernie, he's a special person, a special talent, and for him to have the year he had this year, it's very impressive.
Wow, high praise.
I love that man.
From the Yankee manager.
That is so weak. I mean, that's just pathetic.
Let's hope Bernard gets his shot tomorrow.
Considering how Bernard sells you out every time Warner's there.
Oh. Hey, what do you mean? Braves and Astros will go again today. Game 2 of that series. Houston winning Game 1 in Atlanta yesterday, prompting Atlanta manager Bobby Cox to say this.
We didn't,
What?
do anything much offensively, and, it didn't look pretty, that's for sure.
He's just lost interest now.
Oh, man, there's a genius. Oh, my God.
Holy cow.
Please.
Well, that's sports. I'm Mike Breen.
Hey, what's going on? This is Paul Rosenberg, your faithful attorney at law. Listen,
listened to the rough copy of your album, and I just got to be honest with you. Can you tone it down a little bit? Because there's only so much I can explain. Give me a call.
Slim Shady, brain dead like Jim Brady. I'm an M80. You little like that Kim lady. I'm buzzing, dirty dozen, naughty rotten rhymer. Cursing at you players worse than Marty Schottenheimer. You whacking in the you bitch your style from. You ain't gonna sell 2 copies if you press a double album. Admit it, it. While we coming out in the open, I'm doing acid, crack, smack, coke, and smoking dope then. My name is Marshall Mathers, I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Marshall.
I have a disease and they don't know what to call it. Better hide your wallet, cause I'm coming up quick to strip your cash. Bought a ticket to your concert to come and whip your ass. Bitch, I'm coming out swinging so fast that'll make your eyes spin. You getting knocked the out like Mike Tyson. The proof is in the pudding, this ass is on hold me. I'll slit your mother throat worse than Ron Goldman. So when you see me on your block with 2 blocks screaming the world like Tupac, just don't give up. Fucking this behind my back, dirty Mac and telling your boys that I'm on crack. Just don't give up. So put my thing back on the rack. Go run and tell your friends my shit is whack. I just don't give up. But see me on the street and dark, cause you gon' get stuck, stolen, snuck. Cause I just don't give up. Imus in the morning.
Tonight on CBS 2. He's one guy who
is in New York. John Cardinal O'Connor.
Open up, bloody down.
Good morning, Cardinal O'Connor.
Good morning, God bless. And how is the host of the highest-rated program on MSNBC this morning?
Just fine.
I think their numbers is as follows.
What are they? Right.
So the current Mrs. Imus is a part in the movie, is that right, Imus in the morning?
Where are the numbers?
What's the movie called? Easy Money 2, bejesus?
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
Let me just say this, the panties wearing Mike Wallace and Phil Donahue about their cynical plea for televised executions.
Mm-hmm.
You want to watch someone die on TV? Tune into Imus on MSNBC between 6 and 9 a.m. Tell you that, just what? He's not just dying, he's decomposing.
Copyright 1999 CBS Radio, all rights reserved. Imus in the Morning is a presentation of WFAN and Westwood One Entertainment. It's the right thing to do. This concludes the entertainment and revenue-generating portion of your broadcast day. We now return you to the rest of your local programming schedule, an indecipherable embarrassment of broadcasting incompetence that compelled this station to subscribe to the Imus in the Morning program in the first place. The entertainment and revenue-generating portion of the broadcast day, the Imus in the Morning program, will resume tomorrow morning. Check your local listings for time and schedule.
Every day, keep your radio locked in to the Fan, Sports Radio 66, WFAN New York, an Infinity Broadcasting station. WFAN 2020 Sports.
Good morning at 10 o'clock. This is John Minko. The 0-2 to Alfonso.
This is Fan Highway Patrol.
Imus in the morning. 2020 Sports.
Set by Rogers, the 3-1 to Colburn. Too low, ball 4, and the game is tied. Rogers walks Colburn with the bases loaded.
Kenny and the Mets fall flat in Arizona. Good morning. Mike Breen with sports. Gary Cohen with the call, WFAN. Mets lose game 2, 7-1 to the Diamondbacks. Series now tied at 1 game apiece, the best of 5 series. Kenny Rogers doesn't even get out of the 5th inning. But manager Bobby Valentine was not upset with his starting pitcher.
I didn't think it was a real struggle tonight. He could have left with 2 runs in 5 innings. That's not so bad.
Of course not.
Loser.
Man, what game was he watching? Settling once again.
Wait till Francesa gets a hold of him.
Deplorable. 5 RBIs for Steve Finley.
Bunch of unmitigated crap.
I'd fire him today.
Winning pitcher, Todd Stottlemyre. Arizona manager Buck Showalter had high praise for his Todd.
Todd's a warrior. I don't know how else to describe it. He's a baseball player that happens to be a pitcher.
I don't know exactly what that means. Showalter's team is now tied at 1 apiece. They now fly back to New York. Game 3 tomorrow at Shea Stadium. Also last night, Boston Red Sox lost a game and are furious for the reason why. Red Sox lose game 1, 3-2 to the Indians in Cleveland. Pedro Martinez, the best pitcher in baseball, had a shutout going through 4 innings. In fact, as he entered the dugout after the 4th, he was smiling. But when the 5th inning rolled around, Pedro back in the clubhouse, done for the night. His story, a muscle strain in his back. Indian slugger Jim Thome took advantage, hit a 2-run homer off reliever Derek Lowe. Thome talked about Pedro leaving.
When we seen Lowe coming in, it was wishing nobody to be injured, but it kind of gave us a boost to to get Pedro out of the game, but not for him to get injured, because you wish that upon nobody.
Yeah, right. They're doing cartwheels in the dugout. While the Indians were happy, the Red Sox furious over Pedro's mysterious ailment.
Hey, Pedro, this ain't no siesta time here. Wade Boggs or Bobby Orr would never pull his hair.
Many of the Red Sox feeling that they thought Pedro was faking.
What?
In order to tank the game and get out of his enormous gambling debts.
Oh, man.
Shortstop Nomar Garciaparra was asked if that was a possibility.
You never know.
Major League Baseball apparently looking into the matter. As for Pedro, he had this to say to reporters.
I felt in command. I felt like I could have won that game, and that's why I'm a little bit upset, because I know that if I would have stayed there and if I was healthy, I would have beat Cleveland tonight.
But he didn't. He was out, and his team lost.
Out.
Only because he left. Doctors can't find the actual ailment, Pedro just claiming that his back was bothering him. We'll have more on this story as the morning goes on.
What are you suggesting, Breen?
Also yesterday, Atlanta beat Houston 5-1. Kevin Millwood with a one-hitter. And that series is also tied at 1 game apiece. Yankees and Texas Rangers in the Bronx tonight. 8-17 first pitch. Andy Pettit and Rick Helling, the Texas Rangers, in their last 22, that is, in their last 22 playoff innings, have not scored a run. And you talk, and that's sports. I'm Mike Breen.
All right, here now, an Imus in Washington special report, the White House in crisis. Imus in Washington senior political analyst, the late Richard M. Nixon.
Yes, indeed. Haunting this whole affair. Imus in the morning. Let's get right down to the... to where the stain meets the navy blue off-the-shoulder number, okay? So, Dono, help me with the facts here for just a moment, if you will. The 42nd President of the United States, just 5 removed from yours truly, took a cigar and, in a frolicsome moment, did what with it? Played hide the Panatella with that woman, Ms. Lewinsky? I don't really think I need to know a hell of a lot more than that, do I, to draw some basic conclusions? Here's what I'm thinking. There had to be some extenuating circumstances we're not aware of as yet. I'm suspecting, I do, that this episode has been totally removed from its context. I think Mr. Clinton's lawyer, David Kendall, will soon let it be known that what really happened that day was that Bubber was, mentoring Monica. You know what a wonky is. Sure. Loves to talk shop. And he was explaining a point regarding nuclear offensive capability, and doubtless demonstrating, by that admittedly unique method, how Mr. Trident missile is installed in Mr. Silo. Don't you suppose? Very, very reasonable in my view. Jesus. Oh, here's what I find appalling in my book. Where the hell were those kinds of interns when I was in office, huh? I mean, this guy's on the phone discussing anticipated future federal budget surpluses with Senator Hot Air from Houston or whatever, and he's getting his weasel run through the old rinse cycle at the same time? Now, there, my friend, is a perk of high office if I ever heard of one. Here's something I'm confused about, Dono. Is that woman mute? Do you realize that the youngster at the very apex of all of this, Ms. Lewinsky, has never uttered a peep? She may sound like a wood rasp. Moniker, say something. Let's hear you, babe. Put a mouth on that face, or something along those lines. You know, maybe she's just so leery now about opening her mouth. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyway, back to point. Very perilous times for this administration, to be sure. Tortuous arguments being advanced, in my judgment, J.D., and among the most contorted, in trying to avoid the perjury rap, that when the two of them were engaged in oral relations, she was having sex with him, but he wasn't having sex with her. May I ask a fundamental question? Sure. When she was having sex with him, though he not with her, where was his in a light socket? I don't think so. Give me a break. Well, let me conclude, J.D., by just observing this. As the only president who was ever hounded into resignation, and thanks a lot, Howard Baker, I can say with assurance that I did a lot of unfortunate things myself. But honest to God, I never used an intern as a humidor. Ouch! And there you have it, Dono. The White House in crisis under, coincidentally, the Dick scope, as interpreted by Dick Nixon, also a victim when he was the president of the United States.
I tried to call Jerry Zaks yesterday, and apparently he now's in the Federal Witness Protection Program. Really? So I can get hold of him. Yeah. Well, I was returning his call. I don't want to think I was trying to duck him just because
things haven't been going swimmingly.
Well, I don't think we need to list. I know he's had a you know.
It's turning into the Ralph Branca of Broadway.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
I can't tell you how much I hate the Atlanta Braves. Just, and primarily because of Steak Shapiro. Do you think that we can get Steak Shapiro? We already got him to bark like a dog.
Yeah.
To squeal like a pig.
No question.
There probably is no question, is there?
You get him to moo, squeal,
oink,
ribbit, whatever.
We already know he gobbles.
In the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Tycoon living with family in penthouse. Net worth, $4 billion. Doorman living with son.
Making a point about the Mets that it's more important that they win this series and go into the postseason. And Mike comes back and says, no, that doesn't make any difference. But then winds up agreeing with him, and neither one of them acknowledge. I mean, you listen to him, you wonder, are they in the same room? Listen to this.
Mike, myself, I think it's much more important for the Mets than it is for Atlanta here these next 10, 12 days.
Doug, I take a different opinion. I think the playoffs are a different kettle of fish.
Now, I think if the Mets lost 4 of 6 here, Mike, and then
I agree with that,
against
Doug.
4 against the Braves, I think you'd be a little worried about the Mets in the postseason.
So I do think it's more important for the Mets. And, you know, the Mets have...
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
They're not paying any attention to each other.
It's a whole nother bag of chips, dog.
One kettle of fish. Stop using a food analogy.
Yeah. Different box of Twinkies I'm talking about.
In the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
This is the Imus in the Morning radio program. It's 8 o'clock, WFAN New York, an Infinity Broadcasting Station. For 9 months, the Iraqi military has attacked American jets patrolling the no-flight zones over Iraq. Today's New York Times reports that the Air Force's response includes dropping bombs filled with concrete instead of explosives. These bombs can destroy a military target without an explosion that hurls debris over nearby civilians. Find out why the conflict has reached a standoff that could continue. Serious turn, the right hospital can make all the difference. At the Children's Hospital at Westchester Medical Center, more than 20,000 children from the tri-state area, the Hudson Valley, in fact around the world, are being treated each year. Westchester is a leading-edge academic medical center, so patients can benefit from advances in medicine before they're available to the general public. Renowned staff, resources, and technology help to fight life-threatening diseases. If you have kids, you need to know about the Children's Hospital at Westchester Medical Center. To join the Reach for the Stars campaign to build a new world-class children's hospital, call 914-493-2575. 914-493-2575. Your help's critical to the seriously ill children in the area, so call 914-493-2575. The Children's Hospital at Westchester Medical Center in Valhalla, New York, has world-class medicine that's not a world away.
My bank is consolidating. They're closing branches, cutting...
That was Louie who was yelling at Breen. But I echo the sentiment.
What was it?
Here's what I like about Breen. Here's what I like about Breen. He's up front. He's honest. He tells me if something sucks. That's because he has another job.
God.
And he's home sleeping by 11 o'clock every day.
He's not in that office for an hour and a half.
So it was a good show today, huh, you maggots?
You gotta say yeah.
He's dilly-dallying up at the commissary with Liesel at 8 o'clock. And we're down here being called total morons.
He walks in with his bagels and his milk. Good job, Breen. That 2 minutes podcast was great. Jeez. Lou, get a flashback in there, you idiot.
Nobody is better than I am to work with. Nobody.
Nope. Absolutely
Yeah,
not.
Nobody is more supportive of their own staff or more loyal, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
You're drinking again.
Well, we're having a fight here on the Irish Morning staff in that they all complain and whine because I can't get because I'm surrounded by a bunch of sycophants with the exception of Charles and Breen.
Absolutely you are.
You are totally
Let me
deluded.
tell you something. And frankly, I'm disgusted by it. I'm repelled. My man.
You gotta hear Mike when he comes back in the control room. You don't even know. Man, how tedious was that interview?
He tells me the same thing. See, that's what I like about Breen.
Oh, yeah.
I admire that about him, too, boss.
I mean, if I put somebody on, and, that's almost the foundation of this program, is these pretentious nerds who I happen to like and put on a program and talk for 14 minutes.
I'd say it's one of the pillars.
But I'm sorry, I'm interested in them, and that's the way it's going to be.
Sure.
Breen can afford to be honest with the I-Man.
Hey, leave me out of this.
He's got another job.
Yeah, flies out the door at 11 a.m.
But I mean, and I'll tell you who else is honest with me is Larry Kenny.
There's another guy.
Another guy.
Another independent career outside.
Well, why has he worked with me for 20 years?
Because you're a good man to work for.
There's nobody more loyal than I am other than maybe the Zen Master. Zen Master and I were talking yesterday. Now, I like Andy Rooney. But if I'm Larry Tisch and Andy Rooney goes on Primetime Live and takes me out, I fire him. Period. That day.
It's gone.
I don't care what the ratings are.
Yep.
Earn your beer money somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that's unconscionable.
Crazy.
You know, I mean, there's got to be some loyalty someplace.
Sure. We don't need this dissonance.
Yeah. And there's no one more loyal than I am, which I don't have to talk about because I've proved over the years.
Yep.
Yep.
Walk the walk.
Haven't I?
Talk the talk and walk the walk, I-Man.
Oil with a capital.
But if somebody crosses me,
look out.
then that's the end.
Showers. We've seen it.
Like Lupica.
An example.
Say no more.
Even though I'm promoting Lupica's book because he's a terrific writer. And his book should have done better. This novel he wrote should have done much better than it did. But that's not because I didn't try to help him. But he's still one of the worst people on the planet.
Still has those psychological bruises from the last time he offended the I-Man.
Yeah.
You know, a dishonest person.
Weasel. Damn.
Sucks. It's okay, I-Man. All right. Feel better. We love you.
You two be back in my office at 10:01 for a loyalty lesson.
We'll be right there, I-Man.
So Breen was good this morning, huh? You two suck.
Well, here's the thing. If I have somebody on, like, say, who we had on recently who sucked?
David Margolis.
Yeah.
Pick one, anyone.
Pick anyone. See, Breen has the other job.
Rather was good yesterday, wasn't he?
Excellent.
Okay.
Yeah, we had to wake you up outside, Mike.
Now I took a little heat from some folks over Elmore Leonard. Well, you know, it's not Elmore Shecky Leonard. Elmore is a little cerebral, and he's
Could have fooled me. He wasn't as good as Marty Allen.
Hello there.
You know why we don't book comedians?
Why?
I'll tell you why we don't book comedians. Because, what a nightmare. They think, these comedians, all of them, George Carlin was pretty good, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
And Mort Saul is good. But the rest of them,
As long as he has his Geritol.
these guys on a Saturday Night Live or any of these other people, the Dennis Millers of the world, they think, well, no, I shouldn't include Dennis Miller.
No, it's probably a little hasty there.
But they think that I'm interested in them. I'm not.
No, you're not.
And so I say to Marty Allen, and thank God you probably missed this. We're out in Las Vegas. You know, and you got to figure. You figure that they know they're there to be funny. It's hello, dare, whatever that means. Mm-hmm. Somebody had to explain that to me. It's some line I guess they did 150 years ago.
And continue to
Still
do.
works.
And
I said, here's a perfect line. So I say, so what do you do in your act? And so he describes what he does in his act. Well, we have this football player thing we do, and We have this, and I'm thinking, yes, and
let's get to it.
And I just don't want to say, well, how does it go? But they never get to it.
Maddening.
They want to talk about being abused or whatever it is.
Repressed memories.
I don't want to hear that.
I grew up in Montana.
And that's why you get people like, take Bob Dole or all of these people who you wouldn't, or Kim Russert is a classic, or Greenfield. Russert's a classic case. All you have to say to Russert is, hello, how are you? And I mean, you got 12 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Go to the bathroom.
And Russert's not a performer, he's a journalist.
Mm-hmm.
And a bunch of these other folks who are terrific, who you'd never expect would be.
Jerry Spence.
Well, okay. All right, I know he sucks. He's interesting. Don't you think he's interesting?
Yeah. Yep. Pete Diminished.
Well, Pete Diminished was pretty good, actually.
Yeah. It's funny.
Right out of the box,
Yep. Jerry Spence. God, remember that? Well, he's been on several times. The old bastard just goes on forever.
Yeah.
It's a blur.
I mean, I love him, and he's...
It's not my real name.
Oh,
That's not my real name. We have he's like this Jackson Hole Jew. He's got an inside-outside name going on here.
My wife, Imogene.
She named me Adam, and
I was handling this case.
I named her Dust Mop. Whatever. God. I mean, just insanity.
Remember the scope.
My wife is honest with me.
Yeah.
My wife did.
That's good. Honesty in a relationship. I like that.
No Deanna Lund there.
No, sir.
And Mike Lynn's always been honest. Sometimes a little too honest, but...
Yeah. Brutally honest at times.
Yeah. But, all right, here now the Imus the Morning program. Bernard McGurk as Maya Angelou.
How y'all doing?
Fine.
Okay, let's go. Sure they freed you. Sure they freed you. Sure they freed you. The blue-eyed Yankees. Only to degrade, oppress, and call you bangies. So that's why I do not care if it rains or freezes. Long as I get my check and free cheeses. I will survive. Hey, hey.
That will be fine.
Give me them cheese doodles over here. Damn it.
Then I wonder why I get just brutalized in the press.
You bring it on yourself.
I don't care.
They gave you the jobs they were too good for. They tried to guarantee happiness to themselves by shunting dirt and misery off on you, and you saying, me and my baby, we gonna shine. Me and my baby, we gonna shine. That's because the strong men keep coming on. Strong men get stronger. They bought off some of your leaders. You stumbled as blind men will. They coaxed you unwantedly, soft voice. You followed away and then stopped and laughed as usual. You sang, walk together, children, don't you get weary. The strong men keep coming on.
Imus in the morning.
I called 1-800-SLEEPY.
Ways to think about.
Copyright 1999, CBS Radio, all rights reserved. Imus in the Morning is a presentation of WFAN and Westwood One Entertainment. This concludes the entertainment and revenue-generating portion of your broadcast day. We now return you to the rest of your local programming schedule, an indecipherable embarrassment of broadcasting incompetence that compelled the station to subscribe to the Imus in the Morning program in the first place. The entertainment and revenue-generating portion of the broadcast day, the Imus in the Morning program, will resume Monday morning. Check your local listings for time and schedule.
Flagship station for the Mets, Jets, Giants, Knicks, Rangers, and St. John's is the Fan. Sports Radio 66, WFAN New York, an Infinity broadcasting station. WFAN 2020 Sports.
Good morning at 10 o'clock. This is Rich Ackerman.
Interviews and news heard over the radio by 10 million or so Americans. Well, it's about 15 million, that's first of all.
One thing wrong?
Yeah, that's the first thing wrong.
One fact wrong.
But the MSNBC version is watched by just 56,000 households. That's not true.
Two facts wrong.
Idiot.
So
anything else?
it's at least 4 times that. You know.
All right.
While the show works beautifully on radio, on TV, it's a shaky, dark, existential 3 hours. No chipper smiles from Matt Lauer or Katie Couric. No cheery fat weatherman. No saccharine interviews with pretty movie stars.
Get out.
No sober assessments of national disasters. Instead, you get to spend your first waking hours, it shows on from 6 a.m. till 9 a.m., with a cynical, chicken-boned, craggy-faced wreck of a man who announces with some regularity that he hates the fact that he's on television. I don't think I hate the fact that we're on television. I say I hate MSNBC.
Right.
Well, seated across from Mr. Imus is his sidekick, Charles McCord, who, among other things, looks like he probably offers to carry old ladies' grocery bags at the local A&P.
Thank you.
Little do they know.
Oh, yeah, that's sure he does. Charles,
I don't think so.
It runs his Jeep with them.
Visible in the wings is Mr. Imus's producer, Bernard McGurk, a quick-witted doofus.
It's a little rough.
The guests, now here's the part that's unbelievable. The guests are often respected politicians, such as John Kerry, writers like Doris Kearns Goodwin, media pundits like Dan Rather, Tim Russert. Indeed, ever since the 1992 presidential election, Mr. Imus's stature as a power broker and occasional political pariah has risen enormously, making reference to the pariah part to the speech from hell. The best guest, however, is Mr. Imus's brother, Fred Imus.
Oh, my God. Who is this guy writing this?
Can he get anything right?
Can you believe that, Fred?
I just got up. I don't know what's happening.
Doesn't matter. No difference than the other day.
Hell's the difference. Just say yes or no.
Just say
it doesn't
what?
make any...
Would?
Yeah, I can believe it.
Hey,
Fred's great.
I'm reading a critique of this program in the New York Observer.
Of your program?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the best morning show on TV.
Yeah.
But it isn't a TV show. It's a radio show. So that's the essence of this.
Well, you know, if it's on TV, it's a TV show.
And he points out...
What the hell? That don't make no damn sense to me.
He points out that the best guest we have, and he's talked about people like Doris Kearns Goodwin, Rather, Russert, Carey, all the others. The best guest is you. A country hick version of Mr. Imus. That's how I described you.
Well,
that's why he's writing for the Observer.
I don't know.
He's got nothing to worry about. Mr. Imus, his handsome rock and roll face now dry as parchment. His body hidden beneath layers of turtlenecks and Western shirts. Never looks into the camera. Never offers the viewer an emphatic channel. He sits in his own psychic igloo, almost shivering, as if it's about 20 degrees below zero in there, which it is.
Yeah.
As if he's using all his energy just to keep it together for one more show. Man, you don't know how true that is, baby.
You know, the reason it's good...
He describes me...
You know, you're breaking up a little bit.
As a chicken-bone, craggy-faced wreck of a man.
Well, I don't think that's quite true.
Well, I do.
But...
Consider... Anyway.
The man part's wrong.
Yeah, he likes the show, he likes me, and he likes you. And you know, I'll tell you one thing.
I like him.
You know, he does make a good observation now.
Of course.
I mean, the other stuff is subjective. But he writes...
You okay?
He writes that...
I thought we'd lost him.
Too bad.
But make no mistake, despite the wet-lipped sarcasm and searing attacks on Bill Clinton and others, Don Imus, morning television's underground man, is not bitter. Man, I'm not bitter, am I?
No.
I'm not a bitter person. I am cynical, but I'm not bitter. Big difference. Big difference.
See, the reason it's the best show, I'll tell you why it's one of the reasons it's the best show is because you're the one that made Greenfield. Like Jeff Greenfield, I mean, when he was on ABC and doing his little 2-minute things on Nightline, I mean, nobody ever watched him, and very few people ever heard of him, and still you still...
Yeah. I mean, the last thing I need is my own brother sucking up to me.
Stop. It wasn't sucking up to you. He was explaining what had happened
Well, yeah, but...
as a byproduct of appearing on your program, is all for Mr. Greenfield. And you blew him up, and he was making a valid observation. He wasn't sucking up.
Fred?
God. Fred, I'm sorry.
No, I'll tell you what, Green, see,
You sound like just an old queen, an old butt boy.
No, I'm telling you, see, Greenfield's the best.
Oh, well, Greenfield's nothing.
But he's the best. But he is the best when he's on radio, because when he says something, he has a lot to say, and you don't want to be distracted by television. And that's why he's a big star now, is because he appears on the radio.
Well,
and you can hear what
that's weak. That's just weak.
No,
that's
not
weak.
weak.
You just sound like the most pathetic I-man toady. Greenfield's great on television. What are you talking about?
Thing, for God's sake.
What?
He's better on radio.
No, he's not.
His whole point.
Because what he has to say, hello?
I'm here, you idiot.
How about goodbye?
How about
Here's
goodbye? Say hello. How about goodbye?
Well, just a second. Greenfield's the best at taking a situation and taking it apart and putting it back together so you can understand it.
Fine.
But you're not. When he does that on the radio, you're not distracted by anything.
That's great.
That's just what he says.
That's just great. Thank you.
Well, isn't that a good observation?
I guess.
Well, of course it is.
No, it's not. It's a loser observation.
Well, you're all wrong.
It's a loser observation.
You're all wrong.
All right.
Losing Chuck.
I got joked.
I'm going to go test the dog.
Oh, Chuck got a little frog in his throat, Fred.
Yeah.
Good one, Fred.
I think I swallowed wrong.
Yeah. Here's our best guest, my brother, Fred. Yeah. Hey, don't you... But one thing I don't want you to do when your book comes out, this hideous book of yours, you're not going to go around and claim you wrote it, are you? Huh?
Hello? What?
You mean on that IBM IBM electric typewriter you gave me about 25 years ago?
Mike Lupica wrote my brother's book for him. Well, he interviewed Fred.
Well, Lupica put the periods and commas in.
That's right.
Well,
the pithy observations were already there.
Yeah, but I mean, I read it. I can see Lupica all over this book.
I mean, when I'm on Brian Lamb, when Brian Lamb's interviewing me about the book.
Yeah.
Well, I'll probably have to claim I wrote it.
Yeah, but I mean, you didn't write it. Lupica
I'm not going to claim it. I'm not claiming anything.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to have to write it. I had to live it.
In order that Mike could report it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So it would be unfair to ask me to write it.
So you're suggesting that all Lupica did was write down what you said?
Well, he added a few things.
Yes, yes, he did, Fred.
And you've probably taken them out.
Yeah. Well, go back to bed.
All right.
I love you.
I love you.
Another great appearance.
Yeah, that was our best guest, Fred Imus.
That was it.
And now Fred's got a book, not coming out, not self-published, from Doubleday. The Fred book. Written by Fred Imus with Mike Lupica. Well, that should be reversed. Written by Mike Lupica with Fred Imus.
So, suffering through Fred Imus.
Well, Lupica did. Lupica interviewed him.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, Lupica would have taken Fred's comments this morning, for example, and made a little one-paragraph essay out of it.
Right.
And it would have made it... But it wouldn't have been an exact transcription of what Fred just said.
Yeah, but the essence would have been there.
I don't know whether it would have or not.
Not?
I think Mr. Lupica might have put in the essence.
Uh-oh.
And a punchline.
might have given it an essence.
Here's Lee from Seattle, Oregon on line 4. Good morning, Lee.
Actually, Seattle's in Washington. I'm a little bit north of Oregon.
Why do you write on my screen here?
I did screw up.
Seattle, Washington. I'm sorry, Lee. I just read what I wrote. You would think I would know better, wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you would kind of hope so, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Anyway, how come you never mention the Sonics in your sportscast?
Because I hate George Karl. Mm-hmm. I hate Karl Malone.
Hate the NBA.
I hate
the NBA.
The NBA. Doesn't he play for you guys? That's Utah Jazz, right?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Gary Payton plays for us.
Well, I like him.
But I mean, we got the best record around, and you guys, well, of course, Houston beat us, but other than that, you guys, are never talking about it.
We don't care about it.
You don't care?
No, just because we're on in Seattle doesn't mean we're going to suck up to your local team. We don't care about it. We don't care about...
You lost to Houston.
You lost to Houston. We don't care if the team disbands. We just don't care. Let me ask one of the leading sports writers in America if I should be talking about the... I'll tell you what, Lee.
All right.
Will you take the word of Lupica, yes or no, if I should be talking about the Seattle Supersonics?
Absolutely, he's a god.
Okay, Lupica?
No one cares.
There you go, Lee.
Okay, what can I say?
Hang up, Lee. Good morning, Mr. Lupica.
Did I just hear you interviewing that comedy genius, Fred Imus?
Oh, yeah.
Don, it has been an honor over these last arduous months.
Well.
Sometimes I get off the phone and I say, okay, Mencken 1, the people at the Algonquin Round Table 2, Fred Imus 3. I can't you see the Brian Lamb interview, Don?
Yeah.
Fred, leaning forward, interested. Fred, how do you write? And Fred says, well, my brother gave me a IBM Selectric about 25 years ago. Then I'd send it on to Mark or Mike or whoever that guy was.
A little Jew in New York.
Yeah, somebody, and say, Mike, I've wrestled with this all night. Should that have been a semicolon or a dash?
Christopher Guest as B.B. King.
Oh, you know my baby left me. We been cohabitating quite a while. I developed a strong emotional attachment. We've been cohabitating quite a while. But her affections have been alienated, and so she changed her domicile. Every day I feel depressed. I'm experiencing psychological reaction to environmental stress. Oh, yeah. Imus in the morning.
Yeah, Imus in the morning. In your shorts, 2020 Sports.
Takes the high set. 3-2 pitch. Too high, ball 4, and it forces home a run. Finley picks up his 5th run batted into the night. And the Diamondbacks now have a 6-1 lead as Gonzalez comes in to score.
The New York Mets lose, and the city is saddened. Good morning. Mike Breen with sports. Gary Cohen with the call. WFAN NL playoffs last night from Arizona. Diamondbacks with the gem. 7-1 win over the Mets, evening the series at 1 game apiece. Mets manager Bobby Valentine had a perfect explanation for the Diamondbacks' victory.
They had their hitting shoes on, and we didn't.
Nope. Mets hope to find those hitting shoes and wear them for Friday's game. They'll be putting on their thinking caps and hoping of finding a way to stop that potent Arizona lineup. But Mets third baseman Robin Ventura says, hey, you can't win them all.
I came out and threw a better game, and, we just got beat. And, I think, once in a while that happens. But you just come out and you just get beat.
And, of course, Mike Piazza still saying anything from here on in, icing on the cake. So no worries for these Mets as they return to Shea for Game 3 tomorrow night. Red Sox and Indians opened their series last night in Cleveland, and the Tribe triumphed. The Red Sox led 2-0 after 4, but Boston starter Pedro Martinez had to leave the game with a muscle strain in his back. He's day-to-day. And the Red Sox are 0-1. Indians rejuvenated when Pedro left, and they win the game 3-2. Losing pitcher was Derek Lowe, who took it in stride.
I don't think it's going to be, you gotta try to go out here with a split. There was no guaranteed Pedro was going to go out there and win game 1 anyway, and you got to win 3 games. So
not if you're the Indians. You only have to win 2 games, thanks to Lowe. Game 2 of that series today. Brett Saberhagen, Charles Nagy, the starters. Also tonight, Yanks and Texas Rangers from the Bronx. Game 2 of that series. It's handgun at the stadium. And the I-Man is scheduled to throw out the first pitch.
Oh.
But that is now in jeopardy because of the radio shock jock's current illness. One of the Marconi Award winners' doctors examined the I-Man yesterday and admitted he did not look well. The physician, who did not want to be identified, said the physical illness seemed to be taking on an emotional toll as well.
We saw this very large man strapped to a chair. His eyes were darting back and forth around the room. Seemed to be a lot of fear in his eyes.
I'm understandably upset. It's only his 3rd missed day in the past 12 years.
Man, you're not going to survive.
12 years? Let me hear the tape. I heard you. Certainly hope he'll be back for tomorrow here on the Imus in the Morning program. From the NFL, Steve Young most likely will be out again on Sunday when the 49ers play the Rams. He'll be missing his 2nd straight game because of a concussion.
Young was asked when he thought he'd be able to play again. Apparently not that soon.
It'll be a while.
Just disgraceful.
Meanwhile, Bubby Brister will get the start for the Denver Broncos this week in place of Brian Greasy. And Kerry Collins starts for the Giants in place of Kent Grant. Yeah, and that's sports. I'm Mike Breen.
You promised an hour ago that you were going to drop this, that there was one more telephone call and 2 questions to Sam Tannenhouse, and you were going to drop Whitaker, Chambers, Alger, Hiss.
I'm just reprising what it is.
Don't reprise this. Don't reprise anything. You said you were going to drop it.
Okay.
Well, drop it then.
I have. I've got it.
You haven't. You obviously haven't dropped it. You're still waving the damn books around.
If your radio light sucks in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
Do you understand? You have driven us crazy with this crap.
Yes,
we're sick of it.
Fine.
They're dead. Whitaker Chambers is dead. Alger Hiss is dead. Richard Nixon is dead. I wish I were dead. Stop it. For God's sake, stop!
Okay, fine. What?
Stop it!
Let me just say.
No!
In the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
The fall. Dew settles in rivulets on the car's hood. The dew heralds the fall.
Tyson should have eaten Holyfield's ear, you know, the whole ear. I mean, Holyfield has been headbutting him for 2 fights, and so everybody gets upset because Tyson bites his ear. He should have started eating it, you know, started eating the ear and then eat.
What was his complaint about the fruit?
Well, I think that he that maybe it had cheese or something, and you're right. I mean, well, what would Jesus have done, for crying out loud?
Well, he'd have turned the cheese into something else.
Get what he wanted.
He'd have turned the cheese into a Snickers bar. You know, they'd have wanted it.
In the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
This is the Imus in the Morning radio program. It's 9 o'clock, WFAN New York, an Infinity Broadcasting station, and time for Imus in the Morning News, 14 minutes past the hour.
All right, here now, Media Watch, a colonically intrusive probe of some segment of our nation's media anatomy with the chief surgeon of broadcast journalism, veteran reporter Walter Cronkite.
And today, our normal gurney of investigation won't do. Instead, we back into our Media Watch operating theater, a flatbed truck, and a big one at that. For today, we investigate the behind-the-scenes broadcast staff of the flagship station of the Imus in the Morning radio syndicate, WFAN, in New York City. Now we know what happened to the dinosaurs. They didn't die out. They evolved into the clerical and secretarial staff of WFAN. Over there at the reception desk, a sauropod. And there in the accounting cubicle, a stegosaurus. Make way. A diplodocus is heading toward the lobby to post a memo from the promotion department. Yes, it's the only explanation for certain mysteries that continue to occur at WFAN. Specifically, the strange disappearance of food. Most recently, the Tropicana fruit drink people established a large, almost walk-in-size refrigerator case near the radio station entrance, overflowing with Tropicana fare, orange juice, grapefruit juice, pink and ruby red. Scenting the sudden appearance of an edible, the creatures of WFAN descended like magpies on carrion. Tropicana, Tropagana, in one brief, blinding, furious frenzy of excess. You might as well have dropped a bloody chicken carcass in a piranha tank. It was that quick, that complete. For certain, it seems to this old, oft-feated follower of fact that somewhere in the employment section of WFAN, there must be 2 perpendicular lines painted on the wall, 8 feet apart, beneath a notice that reads, "You must be this fat to work here." Indeed, as radio stations go, even the briefest of examinations reveals that this one, WFAN, must have the single worst clerical and managerial staff in the history of the medium. From office drones who could move seamlessly into sumo wrestling to administrators, a general manager and program director who make Dennis Rodman look like Aristotle. Perhaps there is a way you could be more inept, less alert, dim-witted, insipid, and stupid. It's just that medical science hasn't discovered it yet. General Manager Lee Davis and Program Director Mark Chernoff remain the paradigm, the prototype, and in fact, as of this writing, the only examples of people this dumb. But then there is the extraordinarily rare individual who has managed to combine in a single soul the characteristics of both species, the management moron and what I shall call Secretarius Giganticus. We conclude today with a quick hello and goodbye to Terry Irving, Executive Director of the Imus program in its other permutation on television on MSNBC. For those few who view the program rather than listen on the radio, Terry is the fellow seen now and again in the control room, head flopped back, mouth agape, drool running back into his ears, sound asleep. Yes, cheeseball butts and cheeseball brains. If all of these people would just agree to miss a meal, we could feed Somalia. Sad. For Media Watch, this is Walter Cronkite. Thank you and good night.
For the Nextel Communications Fan Highway Patrol.
Have you ever met Al Roker, Mike? Sure, I have.
Oh, sure.
Al Roker, Mike Brain.
Used to see Mike around the halls at NBC.
Okay, that's correct. Go ahead. I just wanted to make sure you knew
commissary.
It's nice of you.
Almost a perfect game last night.
I'm warning you to leave Mr. Roker alone.
You give him a mic and a camera.
Why are you wearing a hat? Because you have no hair, so
well, that's not why. I'm fine with my
you don't have
the amount
plenty
of hair.
You don't have plenty of hair.
That's fine, though. I don't care. That's not why I'm wearing a hat, though.
You have about a...
Why is Al wearing clothes? Because he's so fat, covered up? It's the same kind of accusation. Wearing a hat.
Why, he's coming in there. So...
Well, there's no food in here.
I'll have you for lunch.
Oh, snap. Yo, can't be going behind me. Brother, at my back. I'm getting...
Look at that. Oh, do the Bruce Willis. That's very good.
Don't cut me. Don't cut me.
People think you don't
It's 25 after the hour. Al Roker now attacking Bernard McGurk here on the Imus in the Morning program. Mike Breen continues.
Almost a perfect game last night in Philly as Philly ace Kurt Schilling helping the Phillies beat the Mets in Philly 3-2. The Philly right-hander nearly giving Philly the perfect game, going 8 1/3, a perfect ball in the Phillies' 3-2 victory over the Mets down in Philadelphia. Schilling also went over the 300 strike mark for the season, something he wanted to share with people.
There's a lot of people that should take credit for this. Levy, Bernie, McGurk, Galen, Vuk, and the trainers, my doctor.
Special night for Kurt Schilling.
Jesus, God.
That's right down at Veterans Stadium.
About the lamest thing on the planet.
And finally, a member of the Pakistani national cricket team has been arrested for attacking a spectator during a match versus India. In Zaman ul Haq, charged with assault with a weapon, the fans were using a megaphone to heckle him, so he went into the stands and hit the guy from India with a cricket bat. And now he faces a jail sentence.
Well, that's the way to deal with it.
Yep.
I'll knock the stink off of you.
Shut up! You don't need to be harassed by these fans.
No.
That's it. Buying a ticket doesn't entitle you to that, does it?
Absolutely not.
No, here on the Imus Morning program, we'll be in Kalamazoo, Michigan in the morning, broadcasting from our very fine affiliate there. And then we'll be in Detroit on Friday morning, broadcasting from our very fine affiliate there. The call letters of either of these stations escapes me, but I'm sure that we can... do you have the information there, Charles?
WKMI Kalamazoo.
Well, we do rather well, by the way.
And WXYT 1270 AM Detroit.
Well, we don't do so well, but...
You'll be doing better.
Probably will, yeah.
Are you bringing Bernard with you?
Absolutely.
Sure.
And people actually like Bernard. In fact, they love Bernard.
Much like they do trained chimps.
Absolutely. I don't know if I'd go there, Al, but we're here on the Imus in the Morning program. We're talking with Al Roker from the Today Show. Mr. Roker came over to do... We've known Mr. Roker for years, haven't we?
Absolutely.
And we like him, so that's basically what the deal is. Plus, well, as I made the observation during the commercials, not undeserved, but this has worked out great for you, hasn't it?
It has. I still work at WNBC here in New York doing Live at 5, and that's been my home. But it's been great. Willard Scott has been like a second dad and kind of let me take over this gig, and we're having a great time.
I was kind of like him.
You know what? He's exactly who you see on TV.
Yeah.
I mean, he really is a great
I thought he was a phony when I first met him. He's not.
No, he is a real person. I love him to death. He really is. He's
like Brokaw. You know, Brokaw's one way on the air and altogether different off there. I mean, I like Tom, and he's on the show all the time, but Man, that's really an act, you know. But I don't get you into that. So Al Roker was telling us that he works out at a gym with one Matt Lauer,
right,
and also the news genius, determined by some poll to be the most influential news person in the business,
electronic media.
Yes, Andrew Lack, who Al described as being soft and mushy.
Well, he's a girly man when it comes to lifting weights. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he works out at Casa as well, and he's just not.
So you work out at some shishi like the Vertical Club or Red Dudes?
It's a serious fitness center. It's just small.
Like the Sports Training Institute.
Right, and they basically give him those rubber-coated pink weights.
Andrew Lack.
Yeah.
But you can't do anything, do you, anyway?
No.
You're on the number one morning program on television.
No, I know, but
and a huge moneymaker for NBC.
Thank you very much.
So he's not going to do anything.
But he is the most powerful man.
Yeah, but I mean,
when it comes to media.
But you can say whatever you want to say about him.
But I wouldn't do that. That wouldn't be polite.
Well,
other than the fact that he's a.
He works out with that dumbbell Matt Lauer every day.
So
will you just stop it?
What when Brian left, which to everyone's great relief that he finally. I saw that last show, by the way, and Prince came out.
A wonderful show. I mean, it was a great.
It was stupid. I mean, it was just embarrassing.
I don't think.
He's going to start crying, and people sitting there, they hate him. And
people don't hate him.
Okay, all right.
Come on.
And Prince was there, and I kind of like. I mean, that's been over for some time, which obviously Mr. Gumbo was unaware of. But
yeah. When they call him Brian Scumball around the studio?
Well, you stay out of this. This is just not necessary. We're trying to have a serious discussion with Al Roker. And we just don't need your input.
That was the rumor.
Do we?
What'd that mean?
Hi, man. Are you,
Didn't he have somebody kicked out of the office to store his Jerry curl?
That would be fine. God, that's enough. Mr. Roker's going to do the weather again for the Today Show at 33 minutes past the hour. Because I like Katie Curry, don't you?
She's great.
Did you see her? Oh, were you on yesterday? No.
Yes.
Oh, you were?
I was there.
I thought you said Willard was on Tuesdays. And
he does the birthdays. I do weather, and he does the birthdays from Washington.
What's your thing, by the way? Do you have a thing?
I do I weave up the ante. You got to be 125.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, and then we do your birthday.
Okay. Well, you wouldn't think there's that many people 100, but there is, isn't there?
Growing demographic.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
So it's big.
In fact, that's why OR still does well here in New York. WOR.
That's right.
Sure, that's their demo.
That's right.
Those people.
2% milk.
Playing to. Did you see when John London left the? What are you talking about?
Yes,
somebody people hated.
I don't think they hated her. I just don't think anybody cared she left.
No, absolutely not. No. And then.
Nice lady. Very nice lady.
Yeah. All the fellas thought so.
That will be fine. I don't think we have to get involved in all.
Very generous lady.
It's 31 past the hour. It's 31 past the hour.
You don't get many repeat guests after him, do you?
He's usually not this rude. I think it's because he knows you. He's taking these liberties.
That's right. Bernard feels
and he's
one
being
with me because he's
quite rude and all
Bernard's
that.
from the hood.
What else are you doing besides the Today Show? You have a talk show or something, don't you?
Well, I had a talk show on CNBC. That's gone.
What happened to that?
They decided to replace it with a rerun of some business show. So,
they did?
Yeah, now it's not doing anything.
They have a business show where there was some woman, right? That's a big hot deal, right?
Maria Bartiromo.
How's that working out?
Well, it's getting ready to start it. It hadn't started.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Because all the guys on Wall Street, which essentially is our audience,
yes,
they're all pretty hot for her. So.
Well, she's a very attractive and very intelligent
woman.
Yes.
And then she does...
Very Sophia Loren looking.
Oh, she is?
Yeah.
Have you seen her, Charles?
No, I haven't.
I haven't seen her either.
She's a really nice person.
Yeah.
She's a nice lady.
So the talk thing didn't work out?
No, talk thing didn't work out. But
now on your show once?
Yes, you were. In fact, that's when it kind of started down. No, there's Mr. Brokaw right now.
I was on the debut of one of them. I mean,
right.
very early.
One of the early shows.
And then you did it for, Oh, you want to...
Today's weather is brought to you by the New York Times. Expect the world.
Well, we're actually not going to do the weather as much as we're going to talk with Mr. Imus.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, we're just chatting about it. So your show's now over 100 radio stations.
We're on 104 morning shows across the country.
Right.
And it and also simulcast, unfortunately, on MSNBC. So.
But isn't that increased your media exposure? I mean, people...
MSNBC?
Yeah.
No, well...
No, okay.
No, there's nobody watching it.
Hello.
So, hello. It's not the Today Show. It's MSNBC.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, I just,
yeah.
thought you might want to... I mean, people get to see you on TV. How have you changed your act since you've been on television? I mean, I notice you're dressing better.
Brushes his hair.
I brush my hair.
Which is something Bernard can't do.
Yeah. And my wife bought me some makeup, so...
That's right.
And we put on a little powder. Charles, I don't Charles doesn't wear any powder, does he?
Charles is a man.
Brain is standing behind you, by the way, like they do.
We...
They do that down at the Rockefeller Center, don't they?
Yes, they do. Folks come down and show us their sign. Mike Breen, the sportscaster here on WFAN. And 104 radio stations across the country.
Well, that's what we're primarily concerned with now.
Is that your main gig?
Yeah. So, I mean, MSNBC simply, like I said, televises this radio program, right?
Yeah, it's like a speed bump. It's an impediment to the main thrust here.
You know what's really sad about the MSNBC arrangement is that here Microsoft and NBC has spent, who knows, $500 million to launch this news outlet.
Right.
And the highest rated program on MSNBC is this dreadful radio show. So, I mean, if you're Andrew Lack, who's supposed to be a genius, and of course we've described and discussed what the real deal is with him.
Yes.
You got to be asking yourself, I mean, what?
He's got to mute something.
They're talking him off a ledge right now.
I mean, what is this all about?
See, and we thought we'd come here on the Today Show to kind of promote your program on MSNBC, and you're dissing it a little bit.
Why would we want to do that? I mean, we're making money with the Today Show, and we're all, we're very loyal to NBC and stuff, and so we want you guys to continue to do well.
Well, thank you. I'm going to do well right now. I got to go to our local stations.
Do that.
All right. That's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
You need to get a deal, Al.
I know I need to get a deal.
Doesn't he, Charles?
Of course he does.
Like a birthday thing.
This is a deal.
Sure, he's got to have his thing. He's got to have a signature.
The people outside are my deal. That's my deal.
Oh, that is?
That's my deal.
Oh, okay.
I go outside and I deal with the people.
I'm
a man of the people.
Man of the people.
Are there folks there every morning?
They're a couple. We got our Mrs. Millers, like,
Oh, yeah. Is not a big crowd? Or? Oh, we are? Okay. Why are we going back?
Good question.
This is great radio, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Flopping back and forth between.
Well, at least it's smooth.
Yeah, between the Imus-Bernie program and the Today Show. So
yeah, that's nice. Well,
are you a sports fan?
I am, but I've got to throw back to Matt and Katie now.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to do that. So goodbye, guys. I'll see you in about an hour.
All right, Al. Thanks very much. We look forward to that.
He probably hates you too.
Boy, don't you say? Did you hear that?
Back to stupid, Santa Claus.
Yeah. When Brian left, which you all were pretty. Well, you liked him.
I liked him.
Okay.
He's been a very nice man to me.
But was there any discussion with you about being the co-host with Katie?
No, none whatsoever. None.
What's up with that?
Well, I'm one of the second guys, and I mean, I'd like to,
back of the bus.
If they, will you stop?
Shut up, Bernard, you idiot.
I'm gonna, but look, if Mr. Lack had come and said, you know what, we want you to do that, I would have gladly done that. I'm performing my role. He just, he's not going to put somebody in that position who can outpress him and wait, and.
That could be something you could do. You know what you have, not to patronize you, but it was the Q thing they call it?
Yeah, a Q score.
A likability deal.
Well, thank you.
I mean, you either have it or you don't, right? It's a genetic thing, isn't it?
Pretty
really?
much.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, so there are some people who just. I was trying to think of who, like Jay Leno.
Can I take your picture? I don't know.
Is that a digital camera?
It's a digital camera.
Yes, you may.
Thank you very much. There it is. Boom. I mean, it's not as good as your stuff, but there you go.
Let me see. Let me get my glasses on here. What kind of camera is that?
It's a Ricoh.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
What does this cost?
About $600.
Did you pay for it?
No.
Of course not.
Sending some Entenmann's coupons.
Entenmann's coupons? What the
The following is a paid commercial announcement. Hi, this is Larry Kenny from the Imus in the Morning program. I've been wearing glasses or contact lenses for the last 42 years or so, until about 2 months ago, when Dr. Joseph Della Russo of the New Jersey Eye Center performed down-up LASIK vision correction. Now I can see 20/20. Perfect vision without glasses or contact lenses. I can drive down the road in my car and for the first time ever be able to read street signs and license plates without having to put on my glasses. It's fantastic. He can do the same thing for you. Why don't you call Dr. Joseph Della Russo at 1-800-35-NJEYE. That's 1-800-35-NJEYE. Dr. Della Russo is the most experienced laser surgeon in the metropolitan area.
That I hadn't promoted their stupid Goodwill games enough, which was absurd. Of course they had. We even had Ted Turner on the air, and I would point out, as I said before, he's a nice guy. He's done a lot of good things, but he was a horrible guest. And I don't know whether he hadn't taken his medication or he'd taken, as Charles pointed out, maybe he took too much. Being a recovering drug addict, I know how sometimes you can just take too much. And you're not out,
Yeah.
And then they tried to tell me yesterday, one of the Turner, it was probably not Ted's fault, it's probably Turner executive's fault, tried to tell me that they had some sort of contract with me. Well, I mean, they're lying. It's preposterous. I want my money. So we didn't know where to go. So we're over in front of CNN headquarters. Let's go to Bernard, see what's going on over there now. Good morning, Bernard.
Home run. Hey, boss, how you doing, Chief? We're here outside Centennial Park, outside CNN headquarters. Of course, Centennial Park was the site where the bomb went off during the Olympics. And there's another bomb about to go off, and that's us here, I mean. We're about to hit CNN like Hurricane Mitch hit the Honduras. We're about to Rodney King the network of Bernard Shaw. We want the money. We want the money. We want the money. I don't know, but I've been told. I don't know, but I've been told. Ted Turner's got some bags of gold. Turner's got some bags of gold. He owes some kids with cancer money. Some kids with cancer money. And the I man doesn't think it's funny. The I man doesn't think it's funny. Come on, man. First he slanders Viet vets. First he slanders Viet vets. Now he doesn't pay his debts. Now he doesn't pay his debts. Ted gets his wife some fancy dresses. His wife some fancy dresses. Not to mention phony presses. Not to mention phony presses. Pay up. Pay up. Pay up. Pay up. Pay up. Won't you before we run? Yeah.
Bernard McGurk live at Centennial Park.
Ted Turner's got to pay the dough. Hey, hey. Ted Turner's got to pay the dough. Hey, hey.
Now, if you're somebody from the Goodwill games, wouldn't you have wanted to avoid this? Why not just write the check and we can end this madness? We're going to go back to Bernard, who's over in front of CNN headquarters with the troops, Bo Dietl, Jimmy the Wags, Joey Potts and Pans flew down from New York, and also a couple of our friends, Georgia State Troopers, have agreed to pitch in and help knock some heads over there. We're just waiting for Lou Waters and Natalie Allen to show up so we can take them captive. And let's go back to Bernard now and see what's going on, Bernard.
Number 19. Chief, we're here outside CNN headquarters. Bo screaming and charging up the crowd. We're looking for Flip Spiceland, maybe break his knees, or maybe to get Candy Crowley's lunch money or something to help these kids with cancer. Bo, what do you think?
Well, all I can say is Ted Turner better pay up because we come here. I got Mark McGwire's 71st home run bat here.
Oh, yeah, you got a bargain.
Oh, there's only 70?
And we have other outraged citizens. We have signs up. We have this gentleman here. Sir, what's your problem?
Well, Ted Turner's donated or promised to donate $500 million to UN kids, and he's so cheap he won't even help American kids that got cancer.
Well, hey, sir. You know, I mean...
Ted Turner. What's the difference between Ted Turner and Clinton?
No.
What's that?
No. Let's just not go there.
No, you mean Jane Fonda and Bill Clinton. The difference, Bo, is at least Jane Fonda went to Vietnam.
All right, Bernard McGurk live up front of CNN headquarters.
There's a man who leads a life of danger. To everyone he meets, he stays a stranger. With every move he makes, another chance he takes, odds are he won't live to see tomorrow. Imus in the morning.
This month, one of the most spectacular casinos in the world is celebrating its 3rd anniversary. It's over at Mohegan Sun, where the legendary action and excitement is now better than ever. There's 5...
Right now, it is a chilly 45 degrees. This report's brought to you by United Airlines. Need to get to Hong Kong? United offers the fastest flight to Hong Kong from Newark, connecting through O'Hare. Fast service to Hong Kong. Just another way United is rising. I'm Lori McNichol for the Nextel Communications Fan Highway Patrol.
Imus in the morning. 2020 Sports. The 3-1 pitch. Lined hard to left center field. That's a base hit. Rounding third and coming home is Jay Bell. Rounding third is Matt Williams. He's being waved home. He comes in to score, and it's 5-1 Arizona.
The two series now all squared in the National League. Good morning. Mike Breen with sports. Bob Murphy with the call, WFAN. Both the Arizona Diamondbacks and Atlanta Braves with big victories yesterday. They even their respective best-of-5 series at 1 game apiece. Arizona knocking off the Mets. Atlanta Braves silencing the Houston Astros. First, we'll go with the Diamondbacks. 7-1 win in Phoenix. Mets managed just 5 hits. While Arizona's center fielder Steve Finley had 5 RBIs, all by himself.
Mike Piazza said it was not from a lack of effort.
Guys are hanging in there. I mean, that's just the way we are. We're a tough ball club, and guys are, banged up and play a lot of ball, but, this is what you live for. You live to get in the playoffs, and they'll let it all hang out here, and that's what we're doing.
That's what you live for. Striking out 2 more times for Piazza, no RBIs.
Oh, man.
Oh, thanks a lot, pizza boy.
$91 million. Series now shifts to New York Friday night at Shea. Where the Mets expect a sellout, and also the I-Man scheduled to throw out the first ball.
Yeah.
If he's feeling well. I-Man recuperating at his Manhattan penthouse today, leaving the Imus crew in a lurch, much like Pedro Martinez did last night in Cleveland. Pedro, the star, the man they count on, leaving the game early after 4 innings, and the Red Sox folded like a cheap suit. Prior to his departure, they were sharp, like a Joseph Abboud suit. But when he left, the Indians stormed back and won 3-2. Pedro leaving after the 4th, like the I-Man leaving in the 8 o'clock hour. The difference, Pedro had a fake injury, claimed a muscle strain in his back, his teammates doubting that, and he was seen dancing at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland late in the evening. The I-Man has a severe sore throat.
Darn right.
Are we having fun or what?
Well, that'd have been a good idea. In fact, his doctor says he is ill, and the physician, who refused to be identified, said the I-Man was in a bad way.
I saw an incredibly emaciated, sick man sitting in a chair, very peaceably dead, and quite clearly out of his misery.
Hopefully, though, be back tomorrow.
Yep.
Cowboy hat and all, ready to go.
You bet.
That cut?
On the Hours of the Morning program.
I don't mind it. I'm going to fire you, Brad.
How did the Indians feel about the great Pedro leaving?
I don't know.
Here's Travis Fryman.
In the 6th inning, and I heard Omar say, hey, new pitcher, guys, and I thought he was just joking around to kind of lighten the guys up a little bit. Started laughing a little, and I looked out there, and I saw Lowe walking in. And for me personally, I mean, it was kind of like, hey, we got a chance to get right back in this ball game now.
Indians afraid he's scared of Pedro Martinez.
Apparently so.
But Pedro obviously something up in leaving the game with the fake injury. They'll have game 2 today, later on in Cleveland. Meanwhile, game 2 today in New York and the Bronx. It's the Yankees and the Texas Rangers. The I-Man scheduled to throw out the first ball.
Well, I'll be damned.
But of course, not known yet whether or not he'll be able to. Andy Pettit will start for the Yankees, Rick Helling for the Rangers.
Yeah.
Rangers have not scored in their last 22 playoff innings, all against the Yankees. What is up with that? And they're down 1-0 in this best-of-5 series. And that's sports. I'm Mike Breen.
You the man.
Southwest in the heart of Rivera is a place straight out of an old bygone era. And there to make sure that it all gets done is a well-hung, high-strung son of a gun. Armed with a shiny new Colt 45 and a brother who can't keep the livestock alive. What's that hanging from that old cottonwood branch? One of the contractors from the Imus Ranch. Our man informs us with a frightening smirk. This ain't a day camp, you kids will work. Won't be no boating, or biking, or ball. You're gonna mend fences, shovel out horse stalls. End of the day, your ass to be dragging. By the campfire waiting for the chuck wagon. Tofu and bean sprouts and organic wheat. Although it's a cattle ranch, we don't eat meat. Out in the wild, wild, wild west wilderness. How we get out of here is anyone's guess. Eating salsa from the Auto Body Express. Pastoral setting, pretty locale. Keeping the horses in the corral. There's David Juris saying, hi, pal. Looking like he just came back from Guadalcanal. The good, the bad, and the I-Man. Somebody call out the cavalry, y'all. Prairie dogs, tumbleweeds, coyotes, cactus, no pinball or ping pong or pool to distract us. For riding and roping and driving the herd, but still you don't hear a discouraging word. Cause despite the hard work, we're all having fun. And besides that, the I-Man, he carries a gun. Thinking he's some kind of bad desperado, about as much of an outlaw as Alphonse D'Amato. He pitching a fit cause his fingers is split. While I'm digging a ditch and shoveling If I was a hired hand, I'd probably quit. New Mexican sunset, it's so serene, most beautiful place that I've ever seen. Except for that TV producer, Jeff Green. Dude ain't got got no hair, looks like Mr. Clean. The good, the bad, and the I-Man. Under the prairie moon, out on the mesa, you won't find a southwestern Mother Teresa, just a cranky old cowboy and his trailer park brother, a red-headed baby and his teenage mother, tipping their hats with a fine howdy neighbor, just like Kathy Lee, they're using child labor on a cattle ranch just outside Santa Fe, where only the DA and the antelope play. Well, there go another contractor, the good, the bad, and the I-Man.
Teachers and their union are...
You know they pale next to your most feared travel foe. The high cost of business travel. Now you can do something about it. Now you have IntelliTrip. IntelliTrip is the first airfare search tool that comparison shops airline websites for the best available fares at the times you want to fly. In a single step, you can shop the airlines for the best deals, including those last-minute web fares. Select the best flight, and with one click, you're on that airline's own website where you book the flight direct. You get the fares you want from the brands you trust in minutes. That one headed straight to the guy waiting in the endless taxi line at LaGuardia. www.intellitrip.com from trip.com. Simply brilliant.
It's very entertaining.
Visit your Tri-State Saab dealer today.
Copyright 1999, CBS Radio, all rights reserved. Imus in the Morning is a presentation of WFAN and Westwood One Entertainment. You understand what I'm trying to tell you?
This concludes the entertainment and revenue-generating portion of your broadcast day. We now return you to the rest of your local programming schedule, an indecipherable embarrassment of broadcasting incompetence that compelled this station to subscribe to the Imus in the Morning program in the first place. The entertainment and revenue-generating portion of the broadcast day, the Imus in the Morning program, will resume tomorrow morning. Check your local listings for time and schedule.
Flagship station for the Mets, Jets, Giants, Knicks, Rangers, and St. John's is the Fan. Sports Radio 66, WFAN New York, an Infinity broadcasting station. WFAN 2020 Sports.
Good morning at 10 o'clock. This is Rich Ackerman.
Rogers is set. Tomei waiting. Tomei swings. There's a drive. Hit deep to right. Might be. It is long gone.
The Red Sox come up just a bit short. Good morning. Mike Breen with sports. Ernie Harlow with the call on ESPN Radio. The Boston Red Sox just 11 wins away from another World Series title. After their 11-1 loss to the Indians in Cleveland, Jim Thome providing the big blow for the Tribe with a grand slam.
You know, you really are just a moron.
Fine job from Brett Saberhagen. Gave up 6 runs, lasted 2.5 innings. Saberhagen, though, not wanting to talk to reporters afterwards.
Oh, let me alone. Go ahead, let me alone. Let me be, will you? You saw what happened.
Red Sox playoff record since the ball that went through Bill Buckner's leg,
1-18.
This is not amusing because we hate Cleveland, or at least I do.
Game 3 in Boston tomorrow.
Don't you hate the Cleveland Indians?
No.
Oh, I hate them.
I hate nothing.
Well, not hate, but I mean, not in the spirit of hate, but...
Hey, I like the Red Sox, but some things just aren't meant to be.
Well, no, but I mean, we could support them, couldn't we?
I am supporting them.
Well, it doesn't sound like it.
I'm trying to hide their dismay with a little humor.
That's all.
You can laugh at yourself, can't you?
What happened to Sergio Mendez, whatever his name is?
Not Sergio.
Oh, Pedro Martinez. What's his name?
Pedro Martinez.
Yeah, what happened to him? I mean...
well, mysteriously, he said yesterday that he's feeling much better.
I took some aspirin. I feel much better now. Thank you. The arm is good. I'm ready to play. Well, I'm ready to go, Coach. Put me in.
Go about to exit 58 for this. We're conducting, by the way, here this morning the Krista House Radiothon that is this half hour sponsored by Channel 55 out on Long Island. And the number to call to contribute, we've raised, come up on $200,000 already. The number is 1-877-412-4747 or 1-877-41-KRISTA. CHRISTA. I don't know if we thought that was a good idea, probably Father Tom, but anyway, 1-877-412-4747. You can contribute on the internet at thegodsquad.com/Krista House. Quicker way to get to the site. And the telephone number is, you can use any of your credit cards you want, Visa, MasterCard, American Express. I would recommend American Express because I love those people.
Yes.
And they've been enormously generous for the ranch and tomorrow's Children's Fund. And you can use them to contribute to Krista House, and we're going to talk with Father Tom. And we're going to talk with this gangster that Father Tom...
What?
What's this guy's name, Father Tom?
Michael Pascucci.
Michael Pascucci.
My very good friend.
Who is...
Who is what?
Well, this this television station out of Long Island is obviously a cover for something. We got to talk
for something to run down.
Oh, yeah.
The team you're picking.
Usually. In what case? Name one case where they didn't.
There has to be real concern in Texas about his mental well-being.
Really, and the guy, remember the other game, he was talking about how well they played. And he said, just if they'd caught a couple of ground balls or fly balls, something would have been different. That was the game they lost 8-1, wasn't it?
8-0.
8-0, I mean.
Poor Johnny. Johnny on the spot. Speaking of on the spot, Red Sox head back to Boston with their heads down. 11-1 loss to the Indians in Cleveland.
What's the score?
11-1.
11-1.
Has them down 0-2 in the best-of-5 series. Losing pitcher yesterday, Brett Saberhagen, had these thoughts on the first two games.
We had hoped to come here and do a lot better than what we've done.
That's pretty obvious.
Yeah, we thought we were going to hit a lot more and strike a lot more guys out. It just didn't work out that way.
Just such a shocker that the Red Sox fading here in postseason play. Meanwhile, good news, bad news for Boston. Pedro Martinez, feeling better, says he could pitch in Game 5. I think we know what the bad news is.
It won't be any Game 5.
It won't be a Game 4.
No.
But Pedro's still hopeful to get back in action.
Put me in, Coach. I'm ready, man. Really, seriously, I can do it. I'm feeling better now. I took some Advil. Look.
That was Pedro Martinez, man. In case you were wondering.
If you'd like more of that.
Don't do that.
We'll be standing outside Computer Associates from 10 to 11.
Show up at the Forum Theater in Metuchen, New Jersey on Saturday, October 23rd.
I'll be opening with that.
Yeah.
And at the game was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It's so beautiful, so fantastic to be here. Because the Iron is not.
Who else was there, Mike?
Frank Bruno once again has joined us.
I love my daughter.
Oh, God.
Other baseball news, Baltimore Orioles fired their manager Ray Miller. They were under 500, no playoffs once again. Fourth manager fired in the past 6 years, and according to my sources, they will name Stump Merrill as their new manager. Merrill says although he has not actually heard from the Orioles, he takes that as a positive.
Well, you got to go along the lines of no news is good news. That's all.
Merrill, of course, former Yankee manager. Yeah. Let's hope that he gets back in the game.
Hump Merrill.
Bad news for Florida State. Their star player, Heisman hopeful Peter Warwick, their great wide receiver, suspended indefinitely on a charge of grand theft. What? Warwick and a teammate went into a store and purchased $412 worth of clothing, but only paid $21.40 and is set up with a female store clerk. That's a 95% discount. The store, the Auto Body Express, is set to press charges, but work is done, perhaps, for the rest of his career. We can only hope that he attends classes the rest of the way and achieves his degree like many of his student athletes on the Seminole program.
And of course, we wish him all the luck in the world.
Because he's not a math major.
And as much as this pains me to say, that's it.
Well, boy, you and Rob have done a great job this morning. And
glad we could be there for you, Chief.
Yeah, it's been great.
On top of it.
Okay, 11 minutes till the hour now.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Hi, this is Sweeney Murdy. Update.com. Call 1-800-SOLD-OUT for great ticket and party packages.
Hour number 3. Good to have you with us today. Talking about the world of sports with New York Met Baseball forthcoming with the Arizona Diamondbacks in a game number 4 with the Mets leading 2-1. Astros playing today early. Yankees play at 7. In the 4 o'clock game. 4:30 game is the Red Sox and the Indians game 3 with Ramon Martinez pitching against Dave Berber. Your phone calls as we kick this half-hour segment off with Ricky on a car phone. Ricky, you're on the Fan. How are you today? With Act, Sports Radio 66.
WFAN 2020 Sports.
All right, Chris, Mike, and Minnesota with reports every 20 minutes. Rich Ackerman, WFAN 2020 Sports.
It's Giants head coach Jim Fossil with Mike and the Mad Dog. Every Monday at 5:05 here on the Fan. Sports Radio 66, WFAN New York.
Minutes with my favorite manager in baseball, Dusty Baker of the Giants. He's doing this on Fox and Mets. We'll see you Monday. Adios. Sports Radio 66. The Fan. WFAN.
Communications Fan Highway Patrol.
Baby, you gotta love it. Imus in the Morning, 2020 Sports. There's a high fly ball hit deep by Warritek, and it is long gone. A 2-run homer deep in the right field seats. And Boston just keeps on banging away here at Fenway.
A record-setting night for the Red Sox. Good morning, Mike Breen with sports. The great Ernie Harwell with the call on ESPN Radio. Red Sox forcing a Game 5 with yet another victory over the Indians, but not just another victory, a 23-7 win. Most runs ever scored in 3 games against the Yankees. And the Red Sox, a team that had lost Pedro Martinez in Game 1, lost the first 2 games of the series, lost their best player, Nomar Garciaparra, for a game. And had every sportscasting and sports writing geek, especially this pencil-neck geek, saying they were done.
Yeah.
But they're not done.
Sure.
They're very much alive.
Absolutely. Reverse the curse.
Indians manager Mike Hargrove summed it up pretty well.
Everything that we threw up there, they hit, and when it came down, it wasn't where we were standing. I mean, that's about as simple as I can get with it.
That's exactly what happened. Nice job by Indian starter Bartolo Colon. 1 inning, 7 runs. Reliever Steve Reed, an inning and a third, 8 runs. This is professional pitching. Red Sox had 24 hits, including 4 hits, 2 home runs, and 7 RBIs from one guy, John Valentin.
We came out swinging the bats pretty well today.
Don't think he's going out on a limb on that one. Game 5 tonight, but now they're back in Cleveland, Jacobs Field, and no Pedro. Pedro Martinez and his back still bad. Brett Saberhagen, meanwhile, will start for Boston. That's great. He got tattooed for 6 runs and 2 innings in Game 2. Charles Nagy starts for the Indians. He pitched very well in Game 2, but that doesn't mean a thing because Colon pitched well in Game 1. The winner will play the Yankees, Game 1 of the American League Championship Series, Wednesday night.
Are the cameras broken now again? Is that what you're telling me? So we're using... Oh, they're working.
What's going on?
Well, why are we using these 2 dorks?
With the dillios.
Yeah.
Your 3D cameras.
Do you want to know how Bill Clinton has diminished the office of the presidency?
Okay.
Here's a good example. Here's a good barometer. People like Sybil Shepherd and Donald Trump think they're qualified to be president.
Boy, oh boy, is that a
great point. Or
Warren
Warren Beatty.
Yeah. There you go.
Warren Beatty's well,
Ron Jeremy.
I mean, so we put a few quotes. I don't think Trump's serious, but I think some of these other people are.
Oh, yeah.
You know, or Jesse Ventura,
Exactly.
who is a meathead. I don't care what. I mean, he's just a fat meathead.
Please. He's a buffoon.
Loudmouth. He's just a loudmouth buffoon.
Exactly. Duh.
And a bigot. A bigot, and not stupid enough to, you know, humiliate. But just a big, fat, loudmouth wrestler, isn't he?
Exactly.
But that's what's happened to you know.
Yeah, there's where we are with our presidency.
It's happened with your American presidency.
Yeah.
We have a dirtbag there now who's diminished it to the point that people like Trump think they are qualified. And it's absurd.
Yep. You're partially responsible for putting him in there.
That's true.
Yep. That's been way overblown.
Yeah. Oh, you say that now.
Oh, yeah. No, my aiding Bill Clinton has been greatly exaggerated.
Big turnaround. Big turnaround.
I had nothing to do with it.
NFL last night, Green Bay beats Tampa Bay on a touchdown pass by Brett Favre in the final minute. Hottest team, the St. Louis Rams. They're the only undefeated team in the league. 4-0, pound the 49ers 42-20. Rams had lost 17 in a row to the Niners, but they didn't have the success story of the 99 NFL season on their team. Kurt Warner, 5 more touchdown passes. He has 14 for the season.
Jeez.
Even Coach Dick Vermeil is amazed.
I didn't expect him to do what he's doing. And you know what he told me? Walking off the field, he said, "You haven't seen the best of it yet, Coach."
Whoa.
Hey. Well, obviously, he's been to the medicine chest there in a training complex.
Of course, Vermeil cried after the game, as he does after every victory now.
That guy's 95 years old.
Very emotional man.
Well, Warner threw 3 touchdown passes to, what's that guy's name?
Bruce.
Lenny Bruce, or whomever, in the first quarter.
So, 49ers doing well.
Well,
Broncos had their first win. Finally, they beat the Raiders.
why was Greasy playing?
Brister was hurt.
Oh, he was?
Yeah. So now Greasy gets the win, their first win. Same for the Falcons. They finally got their first win.
When I turned it on, I mean, it was in the first quarter. Did he get hurt in the first play?
Yeah, he didn't play.
He didn't play at all?
No.
Oh, so he got the starting assignment, and they got hurt in practice.
There you go.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Eagles, their first win of the season. Bengals, their first win of the season. The poor Browns looking for their first win. Bengals scoring a touchdown with about 4 seconds to go. And the fans at the Dog Pound disappointed. Cleveland now 0-5.
I'd like to thank DirecTV for getting my football package situation straightened out. So
all right.
Thanks, huh? I was able to watch all of the any game I wanted, and I didn't want to see any of them. I was more interested in the baseball deal, but
you felt obligated because you had it.
But then the baseball wasn't on until last night, so I was just forced to.
Sure.
But tonight's a huge night.
This is enormous.
Cleveland Indians and the Boston Red Sox, and I'm not going to be able to watch it.
Why not?
Because I hate Cleveland so much. So I don't know why either, by the way, because the city of Cleveland was great to me for.
Yeah. Well, what is it?
I don't know what it is. I can't tell you much. I hate the Cleveland.
Too many Hispanics on the team? Or?
Yeah, that's why I don't like
What
them.
is it?
Well, no, I don't know.
Well, they have Robbie Alomar, who spits at people.
No. I don't know what it is why I don't like him. I just
The Indian logo?
Uniforms too.
I think the Indian logo has a lot to do with it. It's so demeaning to my Native American brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
And it's such an in-your-face. Yeah, you know, they're speaking of being bigoted.
I hear your noise.
So. And my wife is a Red Sox fan. That probably has something to do with it.
Oh, that's the reason then.
That plays in.
There you go.
Well,
she's making you root for them.
no, she's not.
Oh, no.
Another example. Emasculate.